Now, gangy, I'm sure you're wondering why I'm in the dark. This adult forgot to pay her light bill.
Hmm.
And you know what the craziest part is? I can't even see. Hold on. Do you know what the craziest part is? Look what I just came home with. I just came home with an iPad. I haven't paid my light bill. How am I going to charge my iPad? Oh, I can't be the new adult.
Said when they repossessed my car last week, I woke up on a Friday morning thinking I was gonna go take my daughter to school, and my car was gone, baby. I don't know when they came and got it, but when I tell you, I ain't never been so irritated, stressed, pissed, everything in my life. Because one, I really did not know they were coming. I did not know I was in the situation that I was in until I ended up in the situation I was in. And so everything just really caught me off guard. So I'm calling these people trying to figure out, yo, so where y'all take my car? They go ahead. We finally, after we called everybody, let's start about that. We had to call everybody. We had to call the lender. We had to call a vendor. We had to call another repro person. And then it was like, yeah, the car is like an hour away. Like, they took me
What?
through it, through the ringer, just to figure out where my car was, to then tell me, so this is the city it's in, but we're not going to give you the location.
Y'all, I've been working like a dog and I ain't paid no attention to my Greystone power. Y'all, I've been working like
Some of these people are senile. Now, what is the common denominator in all three of those situations we just reviewed? What is the common denominator here? The thing that stays consistent in all three of these clips that we just reviewed. I'm gonna let y'all assume what I'm gonna say. The common denominator is disorganization and lack of visibility into your finances, your responsibilities, and your obligations. So they're not checking their stuff. Better yet, most likely you have to pay it on the same day every month. Why aren't you prepared for that? These are these are little mini self-inflicted wounds. These aren't that bad. You can get over these pretty easy, but it's little easily avoidable situations that you could have easily not even been in that situation, but now you got to pay the stupid tax, and you got to try to handle your business after the fact under worse circumstances, because now you got some people in the dark. You got one person don't got a vehicle and got to get an hour away somewhere. Just handle your responsibilities, handle your business, and you'll be just fine. Y'all, before we get into the next clips, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video.
I'm tired of these businesses and these establishments trying to play me. Like, ever since I got my food stamps stole from me, I be locking my cards or whatever. So I keep like my debit card locked, I keep my Cash App card locked, my Chime card, I keep everything locked, y'all. So this morning I'm getting my coffee or whatever, and as I'm getting my coffee, I forgot to unlock my card and I paid for my food. And here go the lady. She's screaming on the top of her lungs, talking about some declined. And I'm like, bitch, what? First of all, you're not gonna try to sit here and embarrass me and tell me some decline, baby. I got money. Let me just unlock my car. But she's saying it all loud, trying to embarrass me in front of all these people. Like, girl, I got money. We ain't clocking that. Like, damn, y'all be trying to embarrass somebody. I'm tired of these bitches.
Hey, if you said it like that, that is disrespectful. You're doing too much, and you taking a big risk. But yeah,
They just said that 92% of the people that went to college and racked up all this student loan debt don't and won't have jobs in the degrees that they got the debt in. So why y'all asking us to pay this money back? If you know that,
wait a
why
second.
are we being asked to pay?
What?
And then this is the thing that gets me. Before I could even lift my right foot out of the door frame of graduation, my university was already contacting me for a donation. It's because of y'all that I'm a bam flipping donation to the Department of Education. And now they want to garnish our wages. What did you go to school for? Did you graduate with your degree? And are you actively using your degree to make tons of money like they promised you? Was it worth going to college? Was it worth racking up all this student loan debt? And even if you did go to college, finish your degree, you walked across the stage and you got your pretty degree, have you finished paying back your student loans? Will you pay back your student loans? They just...
Well, here's the thing. We have to segment this out, right? We have to section this off because there is a segment of people who they went to college and they actually got decent degrees, a lot of things in computer science, dealing with coding, software developers, that good jazz. Now, I feel bad for them. They had to pay for that education, and I think all that education will be worth moving forward. It just shows that they can do something rigorous and technical and finish it. But as far as on a practicality level, I definitely don't think that it's going to hold as much weight as it once did. But then we have the other section here. And on this section is going to be the people who went and got performing arts degrees, African American study degrees, all that jazz. And that was a decision. Or maybe you did get a decent degree. You decided and you made maybe a decent decision, the right decision. But then on the back end, you then decided that you don't want to do that. Again, that's your decision. Because her main point is that people aren't even working in their degrees. There is a plethora of reasons for that. It's not just because they can't find jobs in it. Some people don't want to work it. It was a thing where most people used to, the first thing that they would go in, the first career that they would move into, they would typically not stick with that. And I think that might just be a human nature thing, a grass is greener on the other side type of thing, as well as you just get more mature and you get older and you know more about life and ultimately more about yourself. And then you're able to find something that's a better fit for you moving forward in long term, right? You're better at making long term decisions. So that also comes into play. But you're absolutely going to be responsible for the debt that you chose to go into. And it would be nice too if you didn't choose to go into too much and you actually had perspective of understanding what you were getting yourself into. Now, I do give a little bit of slack. If you don't have guidance, maybe you can make the wrong decision, but ultimately, um when you're looking at it and you're seeing that it's hundreds of thousands, I don't know how old you have to be to know that, you need to know about that and you need to avoid that if possible.
So my car got repossessed a couple of months ago, and I was behind on payments. But a friend hit me up. My homegirl was telling me, "What's going on? You know what I'm saying? How's your day?" I was honest. I said, "Fucking horrible." Then she said, "What happened?" I told her what happened and everything. Then she said, "Don't worry. God has everything in motion."
So you see where it's going. His caption says, "Story time. I got my car repossessed while others tried telling you to stay positive." It's funny. His bottom part says, "That toxic positivity BS be blowing me." That's hilarious. I actually try to stay away from people like this. You asking, "Hey, how you doing?" You talking about, "So I'm doing horrible." Sounds like you're unlucky. And I don't want that to rub off on me. So,
But this is teaching you a valuable lesson in your life, this chapter. Then I'm just in my head to myself, what does God have to do with a car repossession? And along with that, you said stacking my bread. I didn't have the fucking money to stack any bread or save money because when you're putting down payments for a car loan, you have no money left in your name because you got to pay all these bills, you got to pay all this other shit. This is literally the prime example of toxic positivity because, bro,
oh my
not
gosh.
only they invalidate your feelings, not helping this situation at all. You're pissing me off. Then it was
Helping.
another time I told my barber about the situation.
He called his homegirl. She's supposed to help the situation? Ow. Oh, wow. So this is what they're talking about. The soft man era, huh?
He goes on and saying, "Oh, these younger people, man, they do this and that and the third." Typical barber shop drama gossip shit. And along those lines, y'all, I'm not even kidding. He said, "You'll get a new car." Like, my guy, how do you know that for sure? What if I don't ever get a new car?
Oh my goodness.
No shade against these people. I mean, they're cool as fuck. I just don't know the situation. And that's what I'll be talking about, guys. Like, people think that's the right solution. Like, instead of saying those particular things I just said, it's better to say, I'll be there for you. If you need anything, I got you.
Is it
Like, we
your
need to cut
barber?
it out with this toxic positivity BS. Seriously, if y'all been there, let me know.
Yeah. See, I was trying to be a little nice when I called him unlucky, but really, what I was meaning was I try to stay away from victims, perpetual victims, people with this victim mindset. Because if you notice, that's what victims do. That's like the number one thing in their playbook. You either try to tell them something positive, or maybe you even give them a solution. Like it sounds like, it wasn't really solutions, but it was kind of in that mid ground. But you'll give them a solution and they'll have an excuse for why they can't do it or why it won't happen or like, how do you know what's going to happen? And after a few turns of that, you eventually just get frustrated. You're like, well, stay broke then. Right. And you're just like, well, go on, man. Just get away from me because this is the type of stuff they do. And then now they're going to be resenting you talking about you're being toxic when really it's all of their own doing. It's no wonder why he gets the outcomes that he gets, right? Just look at it's gonna all start in your mind. Look at his mind. Look at how it's like he's got certain fail safes to immediately try to act like and explain why he can't do something. And this is why I try to stay away from people like that. Because you're gonna be who you hang around. And osmosis is real. So ideally you would want to be around other people that are going in the direction that you're trying to go.
I just got paid yesterday. I'm broke. I'm broke. All my bills are paid, but I'm broke. Now I gotta do 2 more weeks.
Hmm.
I gotta wait 2 more weeks.
Her caption said, work 2 weeks to be broke right after payday.
I've been a nurse for 14 years, and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I did everything right. Went to college, got a degree, worked the long shifts, everything that I thought was right, what I was gonna need to be successful, to provide for my family, and yet here I am, just barely making it each and every week. When I look at my paycheck, it's already gone. There's nothing. That's when I knew I needed to do something differently. Comment real if this hits home for you too.
What did you do differently? I had a feeling it was about to go into a commercial, but I want to know what you did differently. She said she's living paycheck to paycheck for 15 years. 15 years. What did you do differently? Sounds like you may have to minimize your expenses. And did she say she was a nurse? If you're a nurse, then it just sounds like you probably stayed in one place and you didn't explore other options that were out there where you could have made more money. Maybe it's the location you're in. But again, victims, and I'm not calling her a victim, but I'm just speaking to the nature of victims. A lot of times, it's like more of a glass half full. Um, is that what it is? Half empty? Half empty type thing, right? Where because you've already made up in your mind that it was impossible or this is just your circumstance, you can't see all the millions of possibilities outside of your circumstance to where if you're willing to change something up and explore something new ultimately, then you could actually find the resolution and the solution that you're actually looking for, which would then add much more vibrance to your life, maybe add something new into the fold that you didn't know. It's funny, right? It's always scary when you try to explore and evaluate, something new, right? Something new that will require you to actually be willing to drop what you've grown comfortable and accustomed to. And it's always scary, but from my experience, every time I've done that, I've always been grateful after the fact. But it is scary, it is hard. There is a lot of friction. And I understand that most people aren't willing to actually and ultimately take that action. And so that's how you can stay 14 years, 15 years straight living paycheck to paycheck if you're not willing to push through that friction and actually try something that you haven't.
So I want to know if this is only happening to me, right? I be spending my paycheck before I even get it. Or that's just adulting. That paycheck be gone. And the money ain't even hit my account yet. Adulting sucks. And people don't talk about that enough. It's expensive. If I knew it was going to be this expensive, I would have started saving before I move out.
You know, that's a common thing that people say. I want to explore that a little bit. What am I talking about? Adulting sucks. That's what most people say, right? We hear it all the time. It sucks for some. I don't think adulting sucks. I don't think it sucks. And there's another segment just like me that doesn't think it sucks. Right? What? You want to be a kid? See, it's going to depend on how you grew up, right? If you grew up in a circumstance where you didn't have everything you want and you desired other things and you desired to kind of craft your life the way that you want it to be, then in my opinion, adulting really shouldn't suck, right? If you feel capable, if you feel like, because sometimes too, you could be a child and people could be disincentivizing you from things that you kind of feel like you know. And it should be obvious in today's day and age because you see adults, you see even people who need to be elders, and they don't have a lick of wisdom. But let's just say that's your guardian, and that's who you're living under. I mean, we see it all the time. Look at some of the people we see on government assistance. These women or whoever, they're elderly, and they don't got no sense. And they got all the kids. They got a bunch of kids. They got 10 kids. Imagine that. This is who you got to listen to. You think them kids don't got common sense? And some of the things that they be telling them, they're like, I don't know if that's right. But they got to abide by it and follow it. Of course, you know, they're children. But see, if they're anything like me, even at a young age, they're able to discern information and just realities of life, and they can look at it accurately and be like, that doesn't make sense. But they just got to go with it. So then when you're able to actually get out here and get on your own and test yourself, and then you start exploring, you start seeing, man, things ain't as hard as they was making it out to seem. It's a lot of people out here just making things hard on themselves, right? And so if you're like that, then life absolutely doesn't suck. It was probably, once you were able to get out into life, it was probably actually a freeing experience. And now you're able to craft the life that maybe you weren't given or shown or maybe even allowed to have. And now you're able to craft that for yourself. And ultimately, maybe you're able to have some peace, because even kids want peace and stability and comfort. But we review a lot of situations and even a lot of these financial struggles that we're looking at, and that's not comfort. But once you actually get out here and you have the autonomy to do for yourself and start making the right decisions, then you can actually get towards that stability, that comfort, that sustainability, and life becomes great. But I guess if you came from, you know, a privileged past, then maybe you want to go back to your childhood or whatever. But if not, then it's a great opportunity to be able to come out here and craft a life that you weren't necessarily brought into or raised into.
My God. My God, I made that video last night. I even got the same shirt on. Woke up. Woke up this morning. I had to call the car lady back that told me that they were going to repo my car with my work truck on Monday. And she called me and told me if I could pay half of it today, I'll be able to keep my truck and they will work with me throughout the rest of the for the next 6 months until I get, you know, on my feet enough to actually pay. God, what? You did it again?
I get surprised. I don't know if I want to say surprised every time, but I just get overwhelmed with joy. And yeah, I get surprised every time when God show up like this because it be like, Lord, you heard me. You see me. What? Y'all, I'm not going to lose my car. I'm not going to lose it. Do you hear what I'm saying? God pulled through for your girl once again. I was right here about to lose my car on Monday. Today is Friday. Yeah, Friday. God, I thank you. Lord, I love you. Thank you. My God is able. I'm telling y'all better keep y'all faith up. Because God, he is a miracle worker, a way maker. But you got to believe it. You have to believe it. Y'all, I had no way. I had no idea how I was going to not lose my truck. And now I'm not going to lose it. God is good, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
Good morning, friend. Can I keep it 100 with you real quick? I don't even get excited for paydays anymore because that shit be gone before I even get it. It's either gone on bills, buy now pay later apps, or credit card. You know what? Forget all that. I don't even get a chance to see.
Buy now, pay later apps. Why are y'all doing this? Why are y'all doing these Affirm, Klarna, buy now, pay later things? It's like if it ain't one thing, it's other. Y'all was blowing up the credit card. Now you're using these other private companies and taking debt and still owing on things. So you get the thing, but then you still got to make payments on it on regular everyday things, regular everyday items that you just simply can't afford. You can't afford it, but yet you're going into a payment plan on it. I don't understand why we're doing that. Just go without it until you can actually afford it, especially when we're talking about smaller things, smaller expenses.
My check because I have daily pay, and baby, I will let daily pay accumulate for at least 2 days and I will pull it down. So if I work Monday and Tuesday, I need all that money come Wednesday. And by the time I actually get a check, I probably get like $100 or $200 in. That ain't nothing. Y'all, it's so bad to the point where if I see any money in my account, I already know somebody get paid. And to be honest, my checking account right now is negative 10,000 plus. That's with buy now pay later else. That's with I
Oh
only
my
owe like
goodness! Didn't I
100 something
tell?
on one of my credit cards, and that's with my loan with one of my
And on
financial.
the
We ain't even finna get into how much I owe with these student loans. But yeah, I was
oh
just sitting up here thinking like, if I have money in my account, somebody been paid. Cause baby, when I see that money be gone, if I know my check finna hit, I'm finna just go ahead and spend it on my credit card or use these apps, and I'll just pay it back when I get my check. Okay, bye, friend. I'll call you back later. Good morning, friend. Can I keep
are we serious, man? I lost track. I was too busy reacting and getting triggered. I didn't even really get the lay of the land of everything she said. But high level in a nutshell, what it sounds like, I think I heard she said she has 10K that she owes just in the buy now, pay later things, and then mentioned she had credit card debt as well. So she probably maxed out her credit cards, couldn't use that no more, and started resorting to the buy now, pay later companies. And she has student loans. So are we just going to keep adding to these things and we're not going to address them at all? And we're just going to let them just keep building up? See, what's happening is I feel like there's more and more people that I'm seeing that are going into bankruptcy, like regular people, not business owners, regular people just filing bankruptcy. I feel like a lot of these people are trying to like build that up so that they can file Chapter 7 and wipe away all that debt, but and just clean. Do y'all want me to do a review on that? Because there's a lot of people complaining that they filed bankruptcy. I could do a whole like people complaining about bankruptcy video. Y'all have to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep business as usual. But yeah, this just doesn't make any sense. And who can stop it is what I ultimately want to know. Because do you want a relationship? Are you in a relationship? So what happens when like you date? If you're dating with intention, are you're gonna put all this on a man to have to wrap his head around it and have to solve it? Who can stop this? See? Didn't I tell you? Self sabotage. Self sabotage is at an all time high. And like I said, I don't think life is that hard. We're just out here making it hard. And so it's on you ultimately. But we're going to leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent the same way it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows the points. And since I am a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And it was designed for smaller channels. So your hypes actually go further when you support smaller content creators. And also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.